What is up here today, YouTube? Jigsaw0097 making another video, Eagles related. This one has to do with Joe Douglas. This has actually been news for 3 or 4 days now, but you know, I'm finally getting around to making this video after I've thought about it. The Eagles could potentially lose Joe Douglas, guys, is the rumor right now, because the Jets just fired their GM, which was like a huge surprise. A lot of people are criticizing the Jets heavily for this because, you know, the Jets just let that guy do their draft and in their offseason and all that stuff, and then they fire him right before the season is getting into full swing. So the Jets now have no GM, and Joe Douglas has long wanted to be a GM. So the rumor is now that the Jets, among other teams, will snag him. And it's a big chance, guys. In my opinion, this is a lot like the Frank Reich Colts thing, where this is just going to happen out of the blue. The Eagles are possibly going to lose Joe Douglas right before the season. Luckily, this is after the draft, because that's one of the biggest reasons they brought in Joe Douglas, was to help with the draft. As much as I love Howie Roseman, my biggest criticism of Howie Roseman has always been that he is terrible at the draft. He doesn't know how to evaluate top-tier talent when it comes to drafting, and he also tends to take players at weird points in the draft, as opposed to, you know, going for a guy that they actually need. This, of course, goes to Nelson Agholor, taken in the first round. Marcus Smith was taken in the first round. There's a lot of players that the Eagles have taken that just didn't really pan out. Nelson Agholor, thank goodness, is starting to show his stride, but as a first round draft pick, it took him way too long, honestly, to develop as a player. So that's why they brought in Joe Douglas, and the Eagles have enjoyed about 2 years now of solid drafts. You know, we got Derek Barnett. We'll have to see how Andre Dillard does, but as far as he goes, he looks very promising as well. And then, you know, players like J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, who I criticized in the beginning, but I'm now kind of coming around looking at what this guy can do. And, you know, the Eagles seem to understand what it takes to build championship teams now. They know how to evaluate talent pretty well, is what it's looking like. So there is that. Sorry, I'm stuck in traffic here, just waiting for a turn signal. Looks like I'm going to be waiting a bit longer, but yeah, I just wanted to give my thoughts on this, guys. Joe Douglas, losing Joe Douglas, in my opinion, would be pretty bad for the Eagles, because then it's going to leave them in a position where Howie Roseman is going to start running a lot of the things again. And who knows who they're going to hire to replace him, if anyone. Because, you know, Howie Roseman is he's kind of like earned his way in Philadelphia now because they won the Super Bowl. So I think the Eagles would just give him all that power again if they had to. But I don't necessarily think it's the best move, because, like I said, he's just really bad at the draft. Howie Roseman is like a cap guy. When it comes to the cap space, he's like amazing. But when it comes to most other things, he's really just like, obviously trading. It's weird to think about, because the cap space goes into so many things, like trades, all that stuff, and he's just a wizard when it comes to that. He knows how to make deals with players that make them want to stay in Philadelphia, you know, like top tier talent, but he doesn't know, I guess he doesn't know how to evaluate like young up and coming talent. That's why he suffers in the draft. He knows how to go out and get veterans and, you know, move the numbers around so that he can get veterans, but the new talent, and you know, losing Joe Douglas is just going to be big. So, you know, I've kind of went in full circle here. I apologize, guys. I've just been kind of rambling, but bottom line is, losing Joe Douglas would really suck. I think the Eagles will be fine without him, but, you know, it just sucks to lose someone when you only had a couple years with the guy. You know, I mean, we did win the Super Bowl, so that's great, but I was hoping we could get another couple drafts out of him, but the good news is that we did get the 2019 draft out of the way with him, still on the roster, or still on the front office. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens, guys. But Joe Douglas, prime candidate for the Jets GM position. Don't be surprised if we lose him. Let me know what you guys think about this news down below. If you like the move, if you dislike the possible move, whatever you guys think, I'd like to hear. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. But to all my returning viewers, thank you so much for watching. This has been Jigsaw097. I will talk to you all later.